week, not today, but they're celebrating with a big old cake on stage and all the events all over the country. Where is this happening, Ralph? Can you share that with me? Los Angeles, sure, there's the cake, and these people look really delighted. Happy 80th anniversary. So Security, of course, has been a great program, right, Connell? Absolutely. There you go. Now you get a feeling that it's heartfelt. Connell, 80 years young, and now there are fears, as we're going to get into on this show, that, the way it's going, maybe not another 80 years. What do you think?
Even if Ralph keeps his job, Neil, the odds of Social Security being there for him are
we can only hope. We can only hope.
At this point, Nancy Pelosi on hand for that celebration you talked about. It is one of these birthdays, so we're not afraid to celebrate for a few days, but the question is, should we really be celebrating? And once we show the numbers, those frowns may get even worse on the stage. Social Security back in 1960, you had 5-to-1 ratio there, workers to recipients. That worked well. That math worked well. We could pay for it. There were surpluses for years as a result. By the year 2035, the ratio, thanks to those baby boomers and the bitter ones that you talked to on Fridays, the ratio will be down 2-to-1. This generation...
Oh, blame it on me. Go ahead.
Of course. If any opportunity, Neil, to blame it on you, we're going to take that. The generation that's either retiring or getting set to retire is just messing up the math. It's as simple as that. So Social Security is in trouble. You would think it would become a bigger and bigger campaign issue when this number is talked about, $7 trillion. Once the surpluses that I referenced a few moments ago go away, in the first decade after they go away, this is the deficit that the estimates say we will be looking at, $7 trillion. So with that, a few days early, Neil, happy birthday, Social Security.
See, that's the way to say it, exactly the way you said it. Happy birthday, a few days early. But no, what does Ralph do? We got more in on Ralph, by the way. Don emails, it sounds to me like you have an ungrateful producer. And then we have Nancy who emails, I love this one, Cavuto, you're the pompous windbag. You just have a young kid who's trying to help your sorry ass out. That was from Mrs. Giordano. I'm just kidding. All right, well, in this whole Social Security debate here, it comes down to what do we do? Do we rein it in? Do we leave it alone? It's the third rail of politics, as Connell has pointed out here. You got Gina Loudon and Joe Lestingi now on the trouble with addressing this entitlement, because as far as I know, Gina, Chris Christie is the only one of the prominent presidential candidates who said, we got to do something. We got to raise the age. We got to means test this. We got to do something because this is in trouble. What do you say?
I say this is just another fine example of the Washington cartel deciding to, label anyone who addresses the problem, the huge problem of entitlements. They label them and they shoot them down, pick them off one by one. Social Security is obviously, Neil, the delinquent child of the left that grew up to be an evil dictator. And it really is a problem. And yet the GOP stands around wringing their hands about it. I'm telling you what, I hope that maybe Donald, maybe Ted Cruz, one of the braver ones will open their mouth and say what everyone seems to be afraid to say, except you got to give Chris Christie kudos for that.
Well, it's not helped him in the polls that much. So, Joe, the question is, and a lot of people respond to this who get Social Security, Neil, it's not an entitlement. It's not a benefit. I paid into this. I should get something out of this. And invariably, Chris Christie comes back at him and says, but it's not all your fault, but the dynamics in Washington have let you down. They've robbed this trust fund, and now we got to do something.
Yeah, he's absolutely right, and kudos for him for actually having the guts to step up and touch the third rail. Right, this is the third rail that kills all campaigns, basically. But he's right. We do have to do some things. There are some things though that we need to keep in consideration, which is millennials, my generation, just overtook boomers this year as the largest generation within the working class, and we are going to be contributing now at a higher rate than there are retirees. So that we're going to see that gap, that surplus gap, start to grow again. So that's good news. Now that doesn't mean though that we're not living longer, because we are. So Chris Christie was right. We need to address the fact that we are living longer. So adjustments in retirement age, maybe increases in the tax are ways to look at this. But no one wants to talk about this. And this isn't just a Washington problem. Voters are concerned about this because guess what? They're the ones that benefit from it. When we go into retirement, it's a huge unknown. These services provide a safety net for us that says, hey, we're not going to revert back to the early 1900s where 50% of us die in poverty.
Republican or Democrat, they fear, on the aggregate and the big picture said, you got to do something with entitlements, you got to do something with Medicare, Social Security, yada, yada. But when it's their Social Security, their Medicaid, their Medicare, no, you don't. What do you think?
Well, don't forget, though.
Gina
Belt
first.
tightening requires sacrifices all the way around, Neil, and conservatives have always understood this. And instead, it always seems like the middle class gets targeted before entitlement takers get fired upon. And so I'm really hoping that some more straight talk in this particular campaign can sort of set a new pace.
Don't hold your breath. Joe, I don't see the straight talk coming outside of a Chris Christie. Give him his due. Of course, he had to lob a grenade to sort of stay relevant, but I mean, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, this is something that is great policy, bad politics. In campaign worlds, this kills you. But if you could get this done, this is legacy building. I mean, this is what a president dreams of accomplishing, which is making this the safety net, the social safety net for seniors, solvent forever. And if someone can do that, they will go down in history, just next to FDR, who created the program, as one of the best presidents ever. But when it comes to campaigns, you're not going to touch my Social Security,
to
right?
the office to do that.
And Neil, there are other entitlements that they could cut for this. I mean, let's not forget there are a lot of really frivolous entitlements out there that could really make this program
There's
solvent,
nothing
but nobody's willing
that can make this equal, guys. Social Security and Medicare
we'll watch it
are
out,
the
but
biggest
again,
programs.
Let's celebrate the birthday that I know is on Friday, Ralph.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To the evil
by the way, we had
dictator.
another email in from Phyllis who says, we can only hope that Ralph and his entire generation lose their Social Security and that, Neil, you're the last one to cash the check. Thank you, Phyllis.